Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing well. So, we have discussed about balanced diet, and also we have discussed balanced diet. We have divided into four groups. Into four groups. Names are cereal group, vegetable and fruit group, milk group, and protein group. Into four groups it has divided. So first, the cereal group. What? The first is the cereal group. Talk about the cereal group. So here cereal group, because we know that for the balanced diet we have to take the different type of fruits, the different type of foods. So if we want to take the cereal group, from which food we get from the rice. You can see rice, chapati means roti, then bread, noodles, like Maggie, Chomi, and so on. So cereal group, the cereal group, it's based on rice, chapati, bread, and noodles. Okay. Then second group name is vegetable and fruit group. Vegetable and fruit group. I have confidence that all students used to take the vegetables, right? Vegetables and fruits. So if we take the vegetables and fruits contain vitamins, minerals, and carbohydrates, so we must take vegetables in our food, in our daily life, plus fruits. We must take the fruits. Understood? So if we take the vegetables and fruit, definitely we get the proper amount of vitamins, minerals, and carbohydrates. Okay, then the third group name is milk group. What? The third group name is the milk group. So where it is based, the milk group, definitely milk group means milk and cheese, right? It's it's used to make from the milk only. Milk, cheese, curd, and so on contain proteins, fats, and minerals. So we must take milk in our daily life because it contained what? That milk group is based on milk, cheese, curd, etc., right? Then protein, we need protein also in our daily life for the to take the balanced diet. So protein group, it is, as you can say, protein means we can get from the meat, fish, eggs, beans, nuts, peas, and etc. It contains the proteins and fats. So for the protein and fats, we must eat meat, fish, eggs, beans, nuts, peach, and so on. So as you all know that we all are not the what, we're not taking all our, we are all not are that non-vegetarian. Some we some students are vegetarians also. They can take the beans, nut, and peas. So then these are the all about the balanced diet groups. Then it's written for a balanced diet you have to eat food from each group every day. As we have discussed, it is divided into four groups. In four groups we have different type of foods we have discussed. So for a balanced diet, for a good health, we must take the food from every group every day. The food should also contain a small amount of fat. The last line written that the food should also contain a small amount of fat. Small amount of fat. Fat, from where you can get the fat? Definitely from the milk product like butter, oil, ghee, nuts, cheese, etc. So we must take these things also. Then the next thing written, preserving what it is, preserving nutrients in foods, preserving nutrients in food, preserving nutrients in food, right? So how to preserve the foods to contain the nutrients, right? Because whatever we are taking the food, it must have the proper nutrients. But how we have to preserve, how we have to take care of the foods, right? So written that often nutrients are lost because wrong methods are used to cook or store food, right? It's a very important line, very very important line, written that if we cooked in a wrong method, if we cook food in a wrong method, or what, stored, or stored in a wrong way, then it nutrients are lost. If nutrients are lost, then what is the use of the foods? Because we used to what, take food for the right amount of nutrients. If nutrients used to go from the food, then why used to take? So we must preserve it in a proper way, right? So it's said that if you cook food in a wrong way, or if you store the food in a wrong way, then the nutrients used to lost. Then written, washing cut fruits or vegetables washes away some of the nutrients. So whenever we used to wash our vegetables or fruits, then sometimes it's some amount of nutrients used to what, go, nutrients used to go. Then written, overcooked, if we cook food for a long time, overcooked, written that overcooked, overcooking destroys several nutrients, so we should not cook food for a long time. Overcooked we should not do. Then cooking in excess water, yes, it is also very important line. Cooking in excess water and throwing away the water also removes nutrients, right? If you that put the more water in the curry or rice when you used to cook, and you used to throw those water, the extra water, then definitely nutrients used to go, right? So we must put the right amount of water. Then written, also if we keep vegetables, fruits or cooked food for a long time, it's written that if we keep the vegetable, fruits or cooked food for a long time, then what written, they start smelling bad, they start smelling bad. Definitely if we keep the vegetables, fruits or cooked food for a long time, it starts smelling bad or not, basi, understood now? This is a sign that germs and mold have started growing on them. So if we keep the food for a long time, है ना, used to the basi khadya, right? So it used to smell a lot because germs and mold have started growing on them, and that they are spoiled, and in this way it used to spoil. Then eating food, eating food that is spoiled can cause food poisoning and other stomach problems. So it's very important thing, we should not eat the what, the food which are already what, already smelling. We should not eat those food which are smelling. If you take those, with the food which are smelling, and it kept for a long time, then it can be cause of the food poisoning, and other stomach problem. So you should not take the that what, the food which are kept for a long time, which are smelling, right? Then written, food can be stored in refrigerators for a few days and in deep freezers for several weeks, right? Because we all used to use the fridge, refrigerator, fridge to store our food for a few weeks, and used to keep in the freezer for a long time, for several weeks. Our methods of preserving food. So because in the how used to take, how used to keep our food, what different methods are there to preserve. Because one things we discuss now, that in fridge we used to keep the foods, so some other things are there, how we used to keep our food and to preserving food, how to save our food. So one step is that one method is dehydration. Dehydration. So dehydration means removing water, है ना, to make dehydrated speech. Removing water, right? Removing water to dehydrate fruits. To dehydrate fruits. Right? Just a minute. Right? So it's written that, what is written here? Dehydration. So one process is the dehydration, right? Then sweetening. So adding sugar. Sweetening means adding sugar. For examples, jams or preserved fruits in sugar syrup. You used to take the jams or sugar syrups. So in this way, this is called the sweetening. Sweetening, you can see. Then salting. है ना? You have seen that preserved fish, है ना? Sukha macho, luni macho. So that fish. So what we used to that add salt to keep our fish for a long time. Understand? Salting fish, preserve the fish, luni macho, right? Then canning. Canning, for example, to preserve fruits and baked beans. So if you that you can see that this picture, canning, right? You used to take that packed, proper packed, and I used to take the, if you see in the market some that butter, ghee, all the things, it's full packed. So this is the canning, canning, and now then pickling. Pickling, you have seen pickling, pickles, achar, right? So this is also the one way to what, preserve the food. Then adding preservatives such as vinegar or oil. Definitely. So whenever you put the vinegar or oil, so it is also preservatives, right? So you can see these pictures. You can see this is all the dry fruits are there. This is the dehydration. See, this is the dehydration, right? Then this is, look at this is the sweetening, right? And this is the what, canning, right? All things are in the full fat. This is the canning. So this is the third page of your first chapter, science. Okay, thank you so much.